In this video, we're going to have a look at using ultrasonics to determine range. This is an example of a very common ultrasonic sensor. This is the HCSR04. The ultrasonic sensor is going to give us the ability to determine how far away something is. When you place your hand in front of it, the one on the left emits and the sound bounces off your hand and is collected on the one on the right. This allows you to determine how far away something is by how long it takes for the sound to get back to the opposite one. So in effect, this becomes a distance sensor. We've got the 5 volts coming in to the VCC, ground coming in to the ground, and then we've got 2 inputs. One more acting as an output, the trigger here from 8, and the echo reply coming back into 7. So let's have a look at the code that we're going to need to get this going. So following the link on the side, we're able to go and grab this code. So let's have a little bit of a step through. Here we're defining the pins that we connected before. 7 for the echo, 8 for the trigger, and then we've set up a couple parameters around it. A minimum and maximum range, we'll have a look at that in a sec. So what this is going to do is trigger the output of one of the speakers and then wait and listen on the input and determine how long that takes. So let's have a look here in the main part. So we first do a bit of a setup here. We've got the digital write, so we set the trigger to low, we wait 2 microseconds, set it to high, wait 10, and then set it to low again. So this is one blip or one emission. Then we determine the duration until we see a high on the echo pin. We do a calculation to determine it in centimeters, and then we do a little bit of an if here that sends a number to the computer if it's within a certain range. So this is just a bit of a check. Just to see if we're outside of range. So we send -1. The other interesting thing that's actually going on here is it's displaying it to the screen. So we haven't gone over that just before, but let's have a quick look. The Arduino is capable of sending information back to the computer, displaying it on the screen as such. And to do this, we use a serial console or a serial terminal. The terminal needs to be initially set up, and it has a speed of communication, also called the baud. 9600 is a very slow but standard way of communicating. Unlike the internet and USB drives and things like that, this comes from a day where the communication was much slower. And in fact, because we're sending only small characters at a time, we don't need much bandwidth. So this is us setting up the serial port, and then we can actually write to the screen by using serial.println, ln. If you said serial.print, it would only do a single, it will only do the particular characters that you want, but if you go print ln, it makes a carriage return at the end of it. So we'll have a look at that in a sec. The parameter for this argument is what you want to send to the screen. So in double quotes, place what you want to send. You can also use variables, and that's what we're doing here. When it is within range, we actually send the distance instead. So serial, print line, display it to the screen, and put an enter after, we display the distance. Wait 50 milliseconds and then do it again. So how do we actually see what's actually being sent to the screen? Well, if you go Tools, Serial Monitor, this is what's getting sent at the moment. And right now, the Ultrasonics is out of range. If I put my hand there, however, we start getting a coherent reply. And if I bring it even closer, it gets even less. You can see that this is continuously flickering because new data is being streamed in from the Arduino itself. So if I move my hand back and then forward, we can see we get that stream of data. So if I want, I can also slow this down. So if I put 1000 in there, that's actually 1 second. Push that to the controller, bring back the serial monitor, and now only once a second is it going to make that reading. My hand is fairly close, and my hand is further. And that, in a nutshell, is Ultrasonics and the serial monitor.